Okay, y'all can hear me now. Sorry about that. The show has been changed up. Hi, Damon. Hi, Eva. The show has been changed up. I'm not talking about 50 Cent anymore. I added a couple more people to the show. I'll change the thumbnail later. I had to rewrite the script, so there are some changes in the script. So bear with me here, people. But with that said, let's get to it because we have a long show. Y'all can jump in later. Now, for those of you who are new to the live show here, my camera is here. My command station in terms of my software is over there. So I'll be looking over there to make sure everything is great. But my camera is right here. Okay? It's to my right, to your left. So that's why you see me looking over there. Make sure the camera is still working and everything is still working. Okay? Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the show because, again, I don't know who's actually viewing my show because these views are not really real. So I don't know who's actually listening. So we're just going to have to play it by ear here. And if you keep getting kicked out, just keep coming back in. Okay? So if you get kicked out, come back in and do that because you may get kicked out a few times. And I'm sorry about that. All right. So anyway, again, those who know me, how you doing? Those who don't know me, I'm Keisha. And thank you for tuning in to The Truth Show. I will be reviewing the Democratic National Convention, also known as the DNC. I'll also be going over highlights, that's most memorable speeches. I have video clips, you know me. I'm always bringing the receipts. Now, I'll also be talking about the recent trend of celibacy among a couple famous celebrities. We'll be talking about that. Just a little snip about that. I'm sorry about the evil. Just keep trying to come back in. I don't know why they keep doing that, honey. We don't know if it's for real for these celebrities to be constantly or saying that they're celibate, which I think, whatever. I'll talk about that later. Okay? Or, I mean, hold up. Or have they discovered something else to satisfy themselves? I mean, is this some kind of ode to something dark that they're currently getting to satisfy themselves? I hope not, because that's disgusting. In addition, I will speak about TikTok cow Marissa Roth, who exposed Jennifer for exploiting, well, for actually using bots to erase her nasty comments about waitstaff and the negative reviews about her video music movie. We talk about that because the autopsy report came out about her. I know, it's really crazy. So just, I have a lot of juicy tea for you guys. A lot of juicy tea. Okay. And I'll also be talking about, if we have time, we'll talk about the Uber driver who's supposed to, some Uber drivers are attacking their customers. I'll be talking about the latest status of Breonna Taylor. There has been some latest status in pertaining to the cops that were involved in this raid. I'll be talking about that as well. And of course, Judge Mathis, which I'm sure other YouTubers are also covering. But you know me, I have a really heavy critique. I don't have a major in psychology. Well, I take that back. I don't have a degree in psychology, but I did major in psychology and have years of experience of utilizing that non-degree, yeah. So I will give you a deep insight about Judge Mathis. And speaking from a married person who got married literally young. I mean, I was just barely 22 years old when I got married. So I've been married for a long time, long time. My first marriage only lasted like 5-6 months. So it was over right after, I wanted to divorce him right after we got married. Long story. But anyway, so I'll be talking about that, Judge Mathis, from an inside married person perspective. And I know how it feels to be married to someone for a very long time. I'll be getting deep insight on why we're going to be hearing more of this. And I have warned you guys several times about all these divorces that's going to start coming up. So you're definitely going to see more of this, okay? So please be prepared, okay? With that said, here are your warnings. Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I deeply researched all of my information. This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy. This is... All right, first up, we're going to talk about Hillary Clinton. She's like the vet, okay, of these politics. I think she should have been like the president last time, but you know, that's just my opinion. She did get a little bad rep from her husband, the player, which I don't think it's fair for y'all to blame her for his transgressions. But anyway, Hillary Clinton, who fell short of becoming the first woman president, told Democrats she believes America's on the verge of breakthrough. We're going to go from night 1 all the way to night 4. Okay, so I hope you got your snacks or whatever you need. She believes America's on the verge of breaking through and electing Kamala Harris. In her speech at the Democratic Convention in Chicago, Clinton drew on the legacy of women on the national stage, from Shirley Chisholm to Geraldine Ferraro, and said that Harris will make history. Here's what she said. I want my children and grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, she said. We were here. We were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is when we break through. The future is here. Let's go win it. So she was really rooting for Kamala. She's always for female empowerment. You know, Hillary, she's a good team player. She doesn't give biasness or anything like that. If someone's talking about making a difference, anything of the nature, she is definitely down for it, okay? She did hit back at Trump as well. Clinton also didn't hold back against Trump, saying he fell asleep at his own trial and woke up to find himself convicted on 34 felony counts. In a twist of history, the crowd chanted, lock him up, lock him up. I did watch her entire speech, by the way. And an echo of chants at Trump rallies 8 years ago, calling for Clinton, bottom line, put the food in the refrigerator. Years ago for Clinton to be jailed. Clinton also drew parallels between Trump's attacks on her and those on Harris. Okay? And you know I got some clips for you, but before I continue, he's mocking, this is what she said. She said, he's mocking her name and her laughs. Sounds familiar? You know, he used to do the same thing to her. Clinton said, but we have him on the run now. Clinton may have lost the 2016 race against Trump, but she remains a rock star with hardcore Democrats. So she still has her name, she still has a reputation, and she still has pull in the political frame. Here are some clips.
something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden. He has been democracy's champion at home and abroad. He brought dignity, decency, and confidence back to the White House. And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership. Tonight, we've reached a milestone in our nation's march toward a more perfect union. The first time that a major party has nominated a woman for president. When there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit. So let's keep going. Let's keep going until every one of the 161 million women and girls across America has the opportunity she deserves to have. Together, we put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling. And tonight, so close to breaking through once and for all. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
I certainly hope so. That'll be so great.
Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions. As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
She's like, yeah, knock him up. Beautiful, beautiful. That was beautiful, beautiful. I did have a longer video, but I was like, oh, whatever, who cares? Because, you know, the strangest thing happened with this. The strangest thing happened. I finished this live show all yesterday because I'm putting myself on some kind of strategic plan, you know, and woke up this morning. You know, I work from home sometimes. Woke up this morning and the whole thing was gone. All of it. Erased, gone. And it was saved and everything. I know it was saved. I always save my work as soon as I start a project. I save it because I know how it feels to work something all night and work so hard on it and then you don't save it and it's just a big mess. But I did save it. You know, I saved it and it's supposed, I don't know, it was strange. So this time I made sure it was saved even though it was saved before. But all my progress was gone. The slideshow was gone. I had to literally redo my entire slideshow and then run to a meeting. So it was a pretty crazy day today. I don't know what the hell's going on. Someone got some kind of hex or something. I did put like a hex on my community chat. Someone may have did a retract, so I'm gonna have to retract back. I know when someone did something against me, I can feel it. I get dreams about it. They shouldn't really mess with me like that because it won't be good for them. Besides, I didn't do anything to you. I don't even know why all this stuff is happening to me anyway. I mean, I'm a very nice person. If you're doing it because you're a jealous jackass. But we'll get into that a little later. But let's move on to the show. And never mind. So yes, Hillary Clinton made a beautiful speech. She talked about female empowerment. She talked about how Trump only cares about himself. She compared to how Trump is attacking Kamala and how he proceeds with his campaign because he did the same thing to her. And it's something, we're not, not used to. This is what he does. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just throwing whatever sticks, whatever works. And pretty much supporting his $1 billion friends and stuff like that because he only cares about himself at the end of the day. So she was a great speech giver. I enjoyed everything she was saying. So that was fantastic. Now, Kamala, she came out initially. She did her introduction. She got a superstar introduction. Take a look at this. Okay. So let me just say this. Harris kicked off the convention, of course, with a brief appearance, sending a jolt of excitement through the delegates on hand. The night one, the crowd at the United Center was jubilant about the historical prospect of electing the first female president. The sense of history moving on was kind of, bittersweet, so to speak. Later on the night, as the program ran very long, when attendees started clearing out well before President Joe Biden addressed, because it was like a long time. People was there like, oh my gosh, it was just very long and people were tired. Remember, they start these conventions late in the day anyway. Well, I have no idea, but I guess they feel they have to do that. So before Joe Biden came, a lot of people probably already left already, but the house was still full, but people were already left already. Anyway, here's what Kamala said. She said, "This is going to be a great week," Harris said during her brief appearance Monday. She gave a heartfelt thank you to Biden. "We are forever grateful to you," she said that. Harris' appearance followed a brief biographical video narrated by Jeffrey Wright and accompanied by Beyonce's song "Freedom" and all that stuff. So it was really good. Here's a little clip. About myself. Hey. One of my favorite songs of Beyonce. I love that song. All right, moving right along here. Oh, Beyonce gave her free and clear to use whatever she wanted of her music. Free and clear, no cease and desist or whatever letter that she sent to Trump and his homeboys. And Taylor Swift gave her free and clear to use any of her music as well. And not, I'm suing you, Trump, for using my shit. Celine Dion was like, go ahead, do what you gotta do. I don't really care. So she got free and clear to use what she wants. No one wants Trump to use a damn thing. No one trying to stand by, well, not those people anyway, but there are still some people who are still rooting for Trump, which I would never understand in a million freaking years. But anyway, then we have Jasmine Crockett, one of my other favorite political people who is just giving me all kinds of style. I mean, as she stepped onto the stage at the first Democratic National Convention, Jasmine looked absolutely freaking stunning. Her signature brooches be on point. And her outfits and stuff, her suit looking all gorgeous and more. And she has her hair in that little old-fashioned 1940s. I'm trying to adapt that a little bit here, but you can't see it because of the chair. Hold on, let me see. See, I'm trying to do that a little bit. Let me quit. Because I'm too lazy to curl my hair. But yeah, she got this whole little swoop thing going on here. And her dark red lipstick, surgery lipstick, and I mean, the girl is looking great, just great. And she has her nails nice, not all long and whatever looking. Gorgeous. Anyway, of course, haters like, you shouldn't be dressed like that. You should be more demure, like Kamala Harris, with whatever no offense, Kamala, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm not a fan of how you dress, though. I'm just going to keep it real. But you do what you got to do. The attention should be on what you say and not what you're wearing. Completely understand. Not complaining. Not even elaborating or praying on that more. I completely understand. But do know I don't like the way you dress. So anyway, getting back to what Miss Crockett was saying, she pretty much hit on a few things. She don't bite her tongue. This is what she had to say.
When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" I immediately began crying. The most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
Aww.
Congratulations on your speech. I can tell you that I was here, so I was receiving the way that people were receiving you. And if you are beloved in this party, I don't think you received that because people were loving you over here, even in New Jersey. Because technically I'm in New Jersey. Let's talk about Tim Walz for a moment.
Yeah.
We know that Texas loves football.
Yes.
Loves football. He's a former football coach. He presents a certain kind of masculinity that is like modern masculinity.
Yes.
But he's a girl dad and all these things. How do you think he's going to play in a state like Texas?
Oh, he's going to do absolutely fantastic. You know, I think that was the beauty of this pick in general. I think that Tim overall is going to play in these spaces that maybe where, you know, people were questioning Kamala and things like that. She is being assured by Tim Walz. That's why we've made it clear that this is a guy from Nebraska, right? So he's going to play in so many of these other amazing spaces in amazing states, but also just the football part, right? Like when people keep saying, you know, Democrats are weak, nobody thinks of a football coach as being weak. And so I think that he's absolutely going to be able to push us over the top.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who will do a good little insult if you play with her. Don't mess with her.
She seems so down to earth. That is so sweet. Move right along here. And she's right about Tim Walz. I didn't know anything about Tim Walz. I was a little suspicious about him. And I'm always suspicious about anyone whom I don't know at all. I'm going to be suspicious about you. I'm going to say that until I know you. But he seemed like a pretty decent man. I mean, I don't want to give too much away what I want to say, but, you know, he seemed pretty decent. Then we got Tony Goldwyn. I got some things to say about Tony Goldwyn and Kerry Washington. Two married people act, I'm going to let that ride. Anyway, so the vice president then gave way to MC Tony Goldwyn, the actor who played the president on the ABC show Scandal, which I have watched the series a million times over. Goldwyn was among a handful of entertainers on stage following Jason Isbell, who sang Something More Than Free, and Mickey Guyton, who performed Ain't We All American. Now, Goldwyn promised that the week would offer an introduction to Harris and a clear contrast before Donald Trump's agent and her vision on the future. Here's what he said. He said, it is a message that's joyful, not spirited, Goldwyn said. Public service, not self-service. Optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. It is a message that has woken us up to who we are. Very well said. Now, the Democratic speakers offered tributes to Biden and Harris, but also sought to prosecute the case against Trump, like he's been doing throughout his entire campaign and pretty much the last 4 years. He have nothing good to say about America. Many attendees were overheard buzzing in corridors about the most recent Trump outage, falsely claiming to have been endorsed by Taylor Swift, which was not true. Her party was pissed, like, don't play our fucking music. What are you doing? But here is a video from,
Hello, Chicago! And hello to everyone tuning in from all across America. Welcome to the first night of the Democratic National Convention. Now, how is that for an opening act? We're in the story of a leader who has dedicated her life to doing the work of making good on the promise of America. A leader who understands the middle class because she grew up in the middle class. A leader who has taken on powerful interests at every step of her career and fought for the rights and freedoms of all of us. And then, of course, we will hear again from the Democratic nominee herself, the next President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. she has a message for us. It is a message that's joyful.
He was a very good MC. He outdid himself. Move right along here. Okay, and then we get to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Alexandria. Alexandria, the New York Democrat who has become one of the youthful faces of the party, was one of the most anticipated speakers. I have to admit, I was anticipating her speech too, because she always got something to say. She's brutally honest. I mean, brutally honest. She say what you want to say. She's right up there with Jasmine, okay? For real. So she was very anticipated to be there. People were just lining up to hear her speak, okay? Now, on the schedule, she was affected, firing up the crowd, of course. Now, early in the day, Donald Trump's campaign sought to link Harris to Ocasio-Cortez's position on issues like defunding the police and the Green New Deal. Do you even know what those mean? When it was her turn at the podium, Ocasio-Cortez didn't waste any time attacking Trump as a plutocrat. AOC demonstrated her muscle as one of the most prominent young Democratic stars to come along in years. Her speech was drowned out in multiple instances by screaming and applause, especially when she took aim at Trump. You know she had something to say. Here's what my girl Alexandria had to say. Cold in my office.
Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. And thank you, Joe Biden, for your leadership. 6 years ago, I was taking omelet orders as a waitress in New York City. I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure, and we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away unexpectedly from cancer. Like millions of Americans, we were just looking for an honest shake. And we were tired of a cynical politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me to elect them in Congress. And America, in my heart, I know from that same cloth of hope and aspiration, we will also elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as President and Vice President of the United States of America. I am here tonight because America has before us a rare and precious opportunity. In Kamala Harris, we have a chance to elect a president who is for the middle class because she is from the middle class. She understands the urgency of rent checks and groceries and prescriptions. She is as committed to our reproductive and civil rights as she is to taking on corporate greed. And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages home. In Kamala Harris, I see a leader who understands. I see a leader with a real commitment to a better future for working families. And And Chicago, we have to help her win. Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life. The truth is, Don, you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business.
Facts.
To love this country is to fight for its people. All people, working people, everyday Americans like bartenders and factory workers and fast food cashiers who punch a clock and are on their feet all day in some of the toughest jobs out there. You know, ever since I got elected, Republicans have attacked me by saying that I should go back to bartending. But let me tell you, I'm happy to any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living.
Somebody we know who are not doing it.
Imagine having leaders in the White House who understand that. Leaders like Kamala and Tim. But Chicago, just because the choice is clear to us, does not mean that the path will be easy. Over the next 78 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate.
Yeah.
So that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant family just starting your American story, Kamala is for you. America, when we knock on our neighbor's door, organize our communities, and elect Kamala Harris to the presidency on November 5th, we will send a loud message that the people of this nation will not go back. We choose a new path and open the door to a new day, one that is for the people and by the people. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless you all.
Well said. She always give powerful speeches. She won't be needing a script or prompter like most of them did. For example, Bill Clinton should have used the prompter because him flipping his little notebook paper was annoying. But he had a lot of decent things to say as well. Now, with the convention speeches running late, James Taylor was cut from his scheduled performance before Biden's speech. Okay. As Democrats got ready for opening night, downtown Chicago was humming Monday with flags, bunting, and bootleg t-shirts, vendors, and all the usual trappings of a political circus came to town. Now, delegates from all over the country took time out before major speechifying at the United States Center. That evening, it took a look around the city. Now, rally in support of Palestinians in Gaza drew about 15,000 people. Organizers with the coalition to march on, the DNC told ABC News Chicago. Okay, so all these Palestinians here in Wisconsin. I mean, not Wisconsin, but because this first rally was in Wisconsin, so I'm still in the Wisconsin mainframe. I'm like, okay, they was in Wisconsin doing all these little rallies. Were they? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So they were there in Wisconsin or here in Wisconsin in this little DNC Day 1 stuff. So I'm a little confused about that whole thing there. Anyway, I didn't even know that many Palestinians were even in America. I mean, I knew that a lot of them did, migrate over here. And I knew when, I think it was Biden, whoever, was allowing a lot of them to stay here. And he sent back a lot of the Haiti people, which I'm still upset about. But I guess that's true. But I know that it was that many in droves. So all of these Palestinians were there or here or whatever in this video in Wisconsin. I don't know. Tell me in the comment section. I have no idea where they were rallying at. They really didn't tell me anything. But anyway, they were rallying. They drew about $15,000. Oh, okay. It says here it was in Chicago. Okay. It says that the march was in Chicago. Okay. But generally speaking, the downtown scene seemed calm. Further south near the warren of hotels housing delegates, the scene was quiet even outside the gleaming silver Trump Tower that looks out over the city's Riverwalk. See here. This is the video I was telling you about.
Various images.
Look what they were doing.
The Trump Vance campaign.
Now this is outside the Trump Tower. Look what they were putting outside the tower.
Ahead of the DNC. Some of the taunts included the phrase "tipos raros" in Spanish, which translates to "weird guys." Another phrase also was Project 2025 HQ, and that is a reference to the controversial conservative policy plans written by a slew of allies of Donald Trump. Now, the former president has disavowed Project 2025 in recent weeks.
Whatever.
Now, various
He's still with that Project 2025, old narcissistic lunatic. Now, another hub of activity was on the east side of town at the sprawling McCormick Place Center that hosted Dempalooza. Okay, that's this place here. Okay. Now, Dempalooza showcase featuring a range of left-leaning organization and causes. There were stages for discussion and Q&A, but they were, sparsely attended. The 5-mile distance between has obvious advantages for security and crowd control, but it also makes attendees heavily dependent on the DNC shuttles operating among the hotels and the two venues, which were crazy hectic. Now, the security perimeter around United Center is so large that the rideshare drivers and even public transit can't get too close. So it was pretty bad. Elections are often defined in slogans, and there was plenty of slodgering and slowering displayed on the lapels, on polo shirts and blouses, and delegates from, remember, January 6th, you remember that? Keep Kamala and carry on, another cat lady for Kamala, and make lying wrong again. That was one of her phrases. So they had t-shirts that said that, which was great. I mean, they were really repping Kamala around there and embarrassing Trump in front of his tower, which was kind of funny. But this next speaker, I want you guys to take a look at. This is the CEO of NAACP, a historical foundation that really stood by our people, especially during the civil rights. Yes, Derek Johnson, the current president and CEO of NAACP, spoke at the Democratic National Convention, also known as DNC. During his speech, he made a notable remark saying, "I'm here to do my black job." A lot of them did that, which was a dig at former President Trump's recent comments. Now, Johnson's speech highlighted the importance of black leadership and the historical contributions of black Americans to the public office. Now, NAACP is a very, very good prophet. The one thing that I don't like about the people, they tend to forget about the NAACP and how much they did for the community. We tend to get used to this, some kind of freedom that they think we have, but we're still all lead by chains, and we're still all pretty much being controlled by the government. It doesn't even matter what race you are, we're still being controlled in some format. But here's what Derek Johnson had to say. Now, this was early on in the day, so do not be misconstrued by the crowd. This is earlier in the day. So Yeah.
Please welcome President and CEO of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, and President and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation, Melanie Campbell.
Good evening. I'm Derek Johnson, President and CEO of the NAACP, and I'm here to do my black job. Since the founding of our nation, we have been on an unending march to protect this imperfect union. Tonight, we celebrate the power of the collective, of what is possible when we are all in for all people. But as we do, let us not forget the history that preceded this moment or the history makers who prepared us for it. As we just heard, in 1964, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, led by Fannie Lou Hamer, and Mississippi NAACP State President Aaron Henry, who stood tall and challenged a process that excluded them to ensure that we will all be recognized here tonight. In 1973, the historic elections of Atlanta's Mayor Maynard Jackson, Detroit's Mayor Comey Young, and LA's Mayor Tom Bradley paved the way for another historic election just 10 years later.
Is that his wife?
Right here in Chicago, with the election of Kerry Washington as the first black mayor of the city of Chicago. And in 1988, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, in his second quest for the White House, inspired us all to keep hope alive. Now this is important because we must all understand Black history is American history. And in this historic moment, we will write the next chapter together.
Good evening. I'm Melanie Campbell, President and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation and National Convener of the Black Women's Roundtable. We have come this far by faith. And for Black women, this moment has been a long time coming. Vice President Kamala Harris's path to becoming the Democratic nominee for President of the United States has been paved by the leadership, sacrifice, faith, and patriotism of generations of Black women. Black women like Dr. Dorothy Irene Height, Diane Nash, Ella Baker, Amelia Boynton Robinson, Barbara Jordan, Shirley Chisholm, and Reverend Willie Barrow. Women whose optimism about what America could be and their fight to make that vision real redefined the leadership role that Black women could play in moving our nation forward. As President, Kamala Harris will lead with power, brilliance, and strength from the highest office in the land.
Beautiful speech. A lot of people don't remember his speech because it was so earlier in the day, but beautiful speech. Beautiful speech. Moving right along here. Now we're up to night 2. And there were speeches from the Obamas and many more. They packed the house because, you know, people wanted to hear the Obamas speak. You know, I don't blame them. I was looking forward to their... I noticed something about Michelle Obama, and this is completely off the freaking subject. She has no lips. She has slit for lips. Matter of fact, both of them don't have lips. I didn't even notice that until I was, you know, listening or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, she has no lips. She has slit for lips. It's got to be interesting to see them kiss. That's really a spontaneous remark. But I just noticed that. I know, ridiculous, but I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, oh my gosh, she has no lips. Her lips are so small for a colored girl, a woman, lady, or whatever. Anyway, here's what Michelle Obama had to say.
Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this.
Yeah.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. That the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs.
Shade.
Look, it's his same old con.
One of my favorite parts of her speech.
Supporter, I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors.
This
On
is Stephanie
January
Grissom.
6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word, no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote.
And Barack Obama.
Most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics. From a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
Yes, I'm so sick of the drama from this man. He's driving me nuts.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
In 2013,
this is her husband.
I walked into,
This is her husband, Doug Emhoff.
we worked through the issue, and by the end of the meeting, the now happy client offered to set me up on a blind date, which is how I ended up with Kamala Harris's phone number. Now, for generations, people have debated when to call the person you're being set up with. And never in history has anyone suggested 8:30 a.m. And yet, that's when I dialed. I got Kamala's voicemail and I just started rambling. Hey, it's Doug. I'm on my way to an early meeting. Again, it's Doug. I remember I was trying to grab the words out of the air and just put them back in my mouth. And for what seemed like far too many minutes, I hung up. By the way, Kamala saved that voicemail. And she makes me listen to it on every anniversary. But that message wasn't the only unusual thing about that day. Now, Kamala, who normally would have been working hard at her office, I just happened to be waiting at her apartment for a contractor to do some work on her kitchen. I was eating at my desk, which was not a regular occurrence for a busy lawyer like me who appreciated a good business lunch. But that's when she called me back. And we talked for an hour, and we laughed. Well, you know that laugh. I love that laugh.
Good for him. Anyway, moving right along here. This was, he may have spoken before, I have no idea, but this is one of my first times listening to him talk. I didn't even bother to look at his resume. I didn't know he was a lawyer. I heard of him being a lawyer. And I think I did a video about him. I may have talked about him in video. I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember every detail of every video I do. I mean, some subjects exit my mind as soon as the video is over. How you doing, Mary? How you doing, Nicole? How you doing? How you doing? So, share, you guys. Hope you guys are sharing. But, I can't even speak. Oh, what is this, night 2? Yeah, night 2 was pretty historic. The Obamas literally slaughtered the House with their wonderful speeches, but they always have been great speakers. You know, they give great speeches. Such a beautiful couple. Beautiful couple. There are a lot of Republicans who are not supporting Trump because he doesn't represent the true Republicans. You know, Republicans you can actually be friends with. You know, the Republicans now, not all of them, the Republicans now who are claiming Trump, I don't want to be friends with them because they're not in line with Trump because of his political views, because he doesn't have any. They're aligned with him because they're probably racist. And I hate to say that, but it's true. You cannot be a true Republican voting for Trump. It's embarrassing. It should be embarrassing for you, for real. Because he is producing and promoting chaos and havoc and division. And that's not what we are about. And I'm not going to get into all political, but we're going to go ahead and move through it because we have a long show and I'm trying to breeze through this politics here. Okay? We're going to night 3 now. Night 3. Night 3 was filled with speeches from Bill Clinton, who read from a paper, not a prompter, like everybody else. Tim Walz, he got up, he did a window. Remember I told you guys, I was a little peculiar about Tim Walz. He was giving me some narcissistic vibes here. But, you know, after, you know, hearing him speaking and everything and learning more about him, like I said, I'm always suspicious about anyone whom I don't know. And I learned more about him. I was like, okay, he's a pretty decent guy. He's literally the epitome of a middle-class man. He had to drive to work. He was a public school coach, teacher, whatever. He's literally the image of a middle-class person. I mean, it's going to be a serious transition. And I was telling my husband and daughter this the other night. From driving yourself to work, going to the grocery store, yada, yada, yada. You don't have maids or anything of the nature. They probably got a maid, you know. Someone come in and clean. Who knows? I don't know. To be moving to the White House and constantly being escorted by security. This is going to be a huge transition. And jumping in and out of private planes and jets and stuff. Oh my gosh, this kid's going to have to get used to not having any privacy. For real. And his son was, I cried a few times. I definitely cried with Oprah and Tim Walz. I was getting bored with Bill Clinton. Sorry. But I definitely cried with Oprah and Tim Walz. Especially when his son started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, so sweet. But anyway, here's a little snip. Sorry about that. Here's a little snip of my girl Oprah.
Despite what some would have you think, we are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We don't wonder who their partner is or how they voted. No. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady.
JD.
Well, we try to get that cat out too.
I don't know who you think he is for saying some crazy crap like that.
Because we are a country of people who work hard for the money. We wish our brothers and sisters well when we pray for peace. We know all the old tricks and tropes that are designed to distract us from what actually matters. But we are beyond ridiculous tweets.
and lies and foolery. These are complicated times, people, and they require adult conversation. And I welcome those conversations because civilized debate is vital to democracy, and it is the best of America.
Yes, it is. And people were seriously trying to roast Oprah, saying she's this, and I'm thinking, you guys need to shut up, saying she burnt down Hawaii or some crap like that. I'm like, now we're blaming her for Hawaii. They're saying she burnt it down and bought it. Who came up with that stupid freaking rumor? I don't know who. And then they're getting on her because she took pictures with, what's that dude's name? Harvey Weinstein. Everyone took pictures with him. She didn't know what the hell this man did in his private life. No one did. Tom Hanks, I don't see y'all going after him. He took plenty of pictures with him too and did a lot of jobs for him. Ben Affleck, you know, Mark Wahlberg, that's his name. All of them. A lot of Hollywood. The Clintons, the Obamas, the Carters. Everyone took pictures with this man. He was a prime person. They wanted to say that just Harvey. I'm quoting from what Tom Hanks said. They knew he was flirtatious, but they didn't know he was a rapist and a pervert. Y'all can't categorize someone by pictures. That's stupid. Okay, we're going to do pictures. Okay, don't get me started on Trump. That'd be a road you do not want to travel. Okay? They get on my nerves the way in that little alter video that she did with, well, not she did, but some crazy person did. She interviewed with Michael Jackson, make it seem like Michael Jackson was over talking to her. That was an altered video. You know, he was doing a she was trying to talk. That was altered. Someone edited that video. That never happened. Because it was talked about on the talk. And yeah, dude, Akbar was correct. It was an edit video. And I was like, he would have known that it was rooted from YouTube. And then they ventured down to TikTok and it became viral. But they blamed it on TikTok, which pissed me off. It was around the time they was trying to get TikTok banned or whatever. But that was an altered video. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. Seriously. And we have Clinton. Now, I'm not trying to hear his speech. And then we have Republican former lieutenant governor endorses Kamala. A lot of Republicans are endorsing Kamala, believe it or not.
Focus my attention on the millions of Republicans and independents that are
Governor
Duncan.
Duncan.
That are sick and tired of making excuses for Donald Trump.
Finally, someone said something about that.
If Republicans are being intellectually honest with ourselves, our party is not civil or conservative. It's chaotic and crazy. And the only thing left to do is dump Trump.
Yeah, dump Trump. Good idea.
These days, our party acts more like a cult worshiping a felonious thug.
Oh, man. Speak the
truth. You don't have to agree with every policy position of Kamala Harris. I don't. But you do have to recognize her prosecutor mindset that understands right from wrong, good from evil. She's a steady hand and will bring leadership to the White House that Donald Trump could never do. Let me be clear to my Republican friends at home watching. If you vote for Kamala Harris in 2024, you're not a Democrat, you're a patriot.
Now, this is, and he had a lot of Republicans coming on there endorsing Kamala. Of course, you have RFK announced that he's dropping out and he's endorsing someone. No one really knows who he's endorsing. The rumor of who he's endorsing is up and down, up, around, in and out. So no one freaking knows, and I really don't care. I was going to root for RFK because I believe he was for to keep TikTok on and not ban freedom of speech. I don't know if that was a misread from my end. If it is, I am sorry, but I don't promote anyone who's against freedom of speech. So if he was against it and I promoted him thinking he was with freedom of speech, my mistake. Okay, moving right along here. Okay. Then we have Tim Walz, who's a public school teacher And Trump, he's trying to defund public school. He's trying to remove the funding from public schools and put it in the private schools or in his pocket. He thinks public schools are a waste of time and a waste of money because, Richie Rich only went to private schools and learned nothing. But here's what he had to say.
So there I was, a 40-something high school teacher with little kids, zero political experience, and no money, running in a deep red district. But you know what? Never underestimate a public school teacher.
Y'all look at his son. He is so proud of his father.
I was in Congress for 12 years, and I learned an awful lot. I learned how to work across the aisle on issues like growing the rural economies and taking care of veterans. And I learned how to compromise without compromising my values. Then I came back to serve as governor, and we got right to work, making a difference in our neighbors' lives. We cut taxes for the middle class. We passed paid family and medical leave. We invested in fighting crime and affordable housing. We cut the cost of prescription drugs and helped people escape the kind of medical debt that nearly sank my family. And we made sure that every kid in our state gets breakfast and lunch every day. So while other states were banning books from their schools, we were banishing hunger from ours.
As governor, you do have the power to implement these rules. You don't have to wait for it to be a full country rule to be driven. You can do this for your own state. But a lot of governors are lazy. They become governors and don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So here's what he has to say about they brought his son into tears. I should have put this one first. But sorry about that. Oh, look at him crying. I cried at that part too. I'm such a softie. Oh, a lot of his old kids and football team and whatever, they were there to support him. So that was really amazing. He was really proud of his father. That's the kind of tears you want to receive from someone. Not remorse or I'm found out kind of tears. You want to see your child very proud of your progress and your achievements. That is a cry that any parent would love to see. Alright, anyway. Okay, and then we, night 4 here. We're going to move to night 4. And I was so glad it was the last day. I enjoyed it. It was great, but I was like, it's over. Finally, I can get some sleep. Okay, let me quit. Now, the DNC is over, and the last day was memorable, powerful, and breathtaking. I believe I experienced history in the making. It was just beautiful, beautiful. And I actually watched it this time. I didn't go back and watch clips like I did with the other 3. But I actually watched it this time. Let me just get personal with you guys, because I don't think you guys know where I stand at this moment. You guys see, this is a video, full makeup, all makeup, whatever, vanity filter, all it is, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I just want to say, there's something I need to get off my chest, because I believe that a lot of you don't know where I stand. I don't know what perception I give off. Yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist, truth seeker, myth buster, and so on. And I have decorum, I have class. But I like to entertain. But that doesn't make me some negative, non-trusting, everyone is the enemy, narcissistic lunatic. I feel that that's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, yes, I believe at the end of the day, my people will always be screwed, no matter who's elected. But I got a good feeling about this election. Something feels different. Aside from the U.S. electing a female for the first time in history, I have always been independent and very political. Make that known through all of my years here on YouTube. I have never supported racists, sexists, rapists, thieves, or anyone who would support violence and chaos. So please stop thinking I support Trump. I get tired of having to defend myself in the comment section that people think I'm always supporting Trump. I'm this huge Trump supporter, yada, yada, yada. Stop putting me in that category because I am not that person. Okay? Furthermore, is there some kind of discernible aura around me that suggests affluence, residing in some grandiose abode, posing substantial wealth? Do I look like I'm staying in a mansion or something? I don't know. Because I feel that due to my profound state of distress, I'm telling you guys the truth here, I am undeniably shattered. I possess a skill of successfully deceiving you. So I don't let you know that, okay, I'm having financial problems, that my life is blah, 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 blah. My marriage is whatever. It's just moving right along here. We don't get to spend no QT with each other, and we practically just roommates, whatever. I made that abundantly clear in my blog. I believe in smiling. I believe in not harboring you with my problems. And I believe in hiding and masking my feelings. Okay? But I am having financial problems. Bills are seriously overdue. No money in my bank account at all. Oh, yes. So do not be fooled by this. I'm not getting paid from any of these channels at all. The little money I got on the 21st, because they pushed the money out on the 21st via Google AdSense, got ate up by bills, and it was only like $200 and some. Seriously. So I don't have money. I'm broke. I'm talking broke. Fucking broke. Seriously, living off credit and whatever. And so don't not be fooled by these glam shots that you see on here. These glam shots are fucking easy. It's so easy. You just put on a bunch of makeup, put your hair down and stuff, and very easy. What the fuck? Put a nice filter on. It's not hard to do any of these stupid shots. Do it at home. The backdrop is fake. It's all green screen. So please do not be fooled by these glam shots. I do these glam shots because I'm trying to hustle, get into acting or whatever, or being the face of some product or something. I'm hustling because I can't make money on the platform, so I have to go out the old-fashioned way to get money because I'm being blacklisted. Someone literally went around and contacted every temp agency, every job, so I won't get hired. I don't know where my calls have been routed to. I've been trying to get this job at this place for the longest because I like the traffic they get. I can get major connections with this place. I'm calling the HR person and her mailbox is full. What HR has a full mailbox? I had to go up there today to speak with her, and she had no idea that I even applied. She said she don't even remember speaking to me. And I'm like, I spoke to you twice. And she was serious. She said, write down your name. I didn't know when. She thought I was coming in to be like an office manager or something. I've been managing for many years. I'm like, I'm not trying to be an office manager. No. I've been managing for a long time. But I don't want to do that. I just want a basic entry-level job. I just want to build up connections and get into teamwork, be front and center, entry-level, not all that damn responsibility like I always have. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to be here that long, Just need the money. And I was surprised so that means every call, every email that I've been putting out from my house has been rerouted to some fucking call center or some dummy or whoever. They're not getting it. I don't think y'all know the intensity. FBI is not working. I'm going to the FBI headquarters soon and see if they would do something. Hopefully I don't get hooked up with some racist people, because apparently they want you to just enter your information via online but they never get back to you. You know, you can get some racist hackers. Okay, she's doing this. You can't really trust the FBI. So I'm really trying here. You guys need to stop taking my glam shot. Stop taking all this stuff and thinking I'm balling shot calling. I am not. So if you want to give, that'd be great. That would be really helpful. But do know a girl is struggling over here. I may be married, but we live two different lives when it comes to financial. We do not have joint bank accounts at all. So please notate that. Just read my blog. I'm pretty blunt and honest throughout the entire blog. So anyway, I just want you guys to check yourselves and know where I'm at. Let's move on. I thought I should say that. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Now this one was really wonderful. Really wonderful. Kerry Washington, my co-courier sister. The evening started off with Kerry Washington teaching people, especially Trump, on how to pronounce Kamala's name. Something I had problems with before. Then again, at the time I didn't really care. Then more of her nieces, and it was more little presentations with her nieces and nephews coming in, and stepdaughter and so on. It was really, really, really wonderful. Anyway, take a look at these clips.
My name's Amara. And my name is Alila, her little sister.
And what are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. All right, so let's practice.
Everybody over here say comma. Everybody over here say la.
Together. For president!
That was really nice. That was really nice. They only did that because I believe JD Vance, what the hell his name is, kept mispronouncing her name, and I believe Trump mispronounced it, calling her Camille. They was doing that because they some evil
We
people.
love you.
And here are more of her relatives.
You.
We're so proud of you.
Auntie, we love you.
We're so proud of you.
And most importantly, you're a baller. And as you say, let's win this thing.
Let's win this thing.
They are so cute. And this is her stepdaughter.
Famously a very easy time for a teenager. Like a lot of young people, I didn't always understand what I was feeling. But no matter what, Kamala was there for me. She was patient, caring, and always took me seriously. She's never stopped listening to me, and she's not going to stop listening to all of us. She's fighting for social justice, health justice, environmental justice. And she isn't alone. We're all in this fight together. So let's keep up the fight. Let's keep up the joy. And let's elect this extraordinary woman as our next president.
Female empowerment is beautiful, isn't it? Just beautiful, beautiful. And then we get into Kamala Policies, because a lot of people were like, well, she didn't say anything about policy. What are her policies? I don't see her talking about policies. Were you even watching at all throughout, or were you even listening or paying attention throughout her entire campaign? She literally laid down all of her policies. Then is the question again about her policies, as I said it, that she made very clear during her campaign, as if Trump have any damn policies. Man, I'm so sick of this man. Anyway, here are a few clips of Kamala Policies, because apparently people weren't paying attention to her policies because they just don't pay attention. They like to comment before researching what they're commenting on. Like making fools of themselves, seriously.
Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious. Consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol. His explicit intent to jail journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy. His explicit intent to deploy our active duty military against our own citizens. Consider the power he will have, especially after the United States Supreme Court just ruled that he would be immune from criminal prosecution. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails.
It'd be a disaster.
And
utter
how
fucking disaster.
he would use the immense powers of the presidency of the United States. Not to improve your life, not to strengthen our national security, but to serve the only client he has ever had, himself. I know there are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know, I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self, to hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power. I will be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, a president who leads and listens, who is realistic, practical, and has common sense, and always fights for the American people.
Because we already know Trump don't have any common sense.
And let me be clear. After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. Last year, Joe and I brought together Democrats and conservative Republicans to write the strongest border bill in decades. The Border Patrol endorsed it. But Donald Trump believes a border deal would hurt his campaign.
He didn't want to mess with
So
trafficking.
he ordered his allies in Congress to kill the deal. Well, I refuse to play politics with our security, and here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law. I know we can live up to our proud heritage as a nation of immigrants and reform our broken immigration system. We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border. We are the heirs to the greatest democracy in the history of the world. And on behalf of our children and our grandchildren and all those who sacrificed so dearly for our freedom and liberty, we must be worthy of this moment. It is now our turn to do what generations before us have done, guided by optimism and faith, to fight for this country we love, to fight for the ideals we cherish, and to uphold the awesome responsibility that comes with the greatest privilege on earth, the privilege and pride of being an American.
she was there to bring it, people. And give you a brief snip of her policy, since a lot of you don't know. Harris' position on paid parental leave. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to briefly do it. She's all for that. Her and Tim Walz released an economic platform which shows that they're hoping to restore the federal child tax credit to help parents afford everyday necessities, because Trump and his cronies kind of threw that out because they don't give two flying figs about you people. Who cares? She's definitely for getting that back funded. Harris also support LGBTQ. She's been a long-standing advocate for gay marriage, consistently supporting LGBTQ throughout her entire career, including during her time as vice president. She's definitely an advocate for that. And for same-sex marriages. Okay? She definitely laid out policies how she wanted to improve that too, because when Trump left the White House, he had things in motions, and his homeboys who's dominating the Senate threw out a lot of policies that were in place that Obama put in place that he threw out because he don't care about gays. Gays can kiss his ass. Okay? He don't care. Okay? Harris' position on abortion, you already know where she stands with that. Harris' position on immigration, she just told you about that. Harris' position on AI, she talked about that as well. She said she supports the establishment of guidelines and standards for AI development to ensure it's used both responsibly and transparently. Here's what she said. When it comes to AI, America is global leader. It is American companies that led the world in AI intervention. Harris said that at the AI Safety Summit in the United Kingdom, it is America that can catalyze global action and build global consensus in a way that no other country can. And other presidents, Joe Biden and America, that will continue to lead on AI. So she basically saying they can use AI for a good reason and not for really illegal reasons. So they're for AI, but long as, like she said, is used both responsibly and transparently. But she said it is a good invention. Okay. Harris' position on healthcare, you know what she stands on healthcare. Trump wanted to throw out affordable health care. He don't give two flying fucks about affordable health care. Primarily, he just didn't like the fact Obama implemented it. He wanted to use health care to him and his cronies have full capable of controlling. And believe me, it was going to be sky high, rocket high, and a lot of people were not going to be eligible. Okay? Harris' position on cannabis legalization. She always been it's been a battle with her. Harris' history with cannabis is perhaps one of the biggest PR battles she would have to overcome as her position. It can either seen as flip-flopping or as evolution or thought, depending on whom you ask. How would you choose to look at it? Cannabis? Well, let me go back for that. Cannabis is good for a lot of healthcare positions. Some people need it. So, but there is abuse when it comes to this. So this is a very touchy subject, but she definitely has policies. She's been trying to implement a nice policy going back to 2010 with this. So her having policies in place, she's been having policies in place before she even became a candidacy for president. Please do your research before making stupid decisions like that, and comments in my comment section. Harris' position on home affordability, she pretty much put it out there. First of all, she gave homeowners billions of dollars. She planned on implementing that. She planned on lowering taxes as well. I have videos for that. Okay, here's what this gentleman had to say about that.
Kamala Harris is proposing a 45% capital gains tax and a 25% unrealized gains tax. And here are two things you should know. First off, the 45% capital gains tax is increasing, but only for individuals that make over $1 million. We still do not fully understand if this is for single individuals or married individuals, but if you make less than $1 million, you should not be affected by this. When it comes down to the 25% unrealized capital gains tax, that is for people with a net worth of over $100 million. So fortunately for people like myself and maybe you, we don't get affected, but this just doesn't make sense to me. I don't care if you make 100 or are worth $100 million, or even if you're worth $1,000. How do you tax someone on unrealized gains? For those that are a little bit newer to this and that don't understand what unrealized gains are, it's super simple. An unrealized gain is a stock, bond, or asset that you haven't actually sold or liquidated yet. So the example would be is that if you have a property that appreciates in value by $250,000, imagine you getting a tax bill of 25% of that $250,000, even though you haven't sold it yet. Now again, Does this mean that in the years that follow, that if your house value goes down, that you get a refund on that depreciation? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you ever tax someone on something that they haven't actually made money on? It makes absolute zero sense. Let me know down in the comment section what you think.
Told you. And that was just a brief summary of her plans, you know. But let's move on about Trump here, okay? Trump. I don't think y'all know the in-depthness of what this man is capable of and what he has done. He has done a lot of illegal things that he should be getting prosecuted for, but I'm not sure if he got prosecuted for this atrocity.
What Republicans feared the most last night was the joy, but also the chance of USA. And why did that ring true? Because the Republican Party has sold itself to a man who lies about America every day and says we're a nation in decline, who lies about America every day and says we're a nation of losers, who lies about America every day and says that we're just on the verge of collapse. No, not true. The data doesn't bear it out economically, militarily, culturally, socially, in every way. This is a great country. So now the Democratic Party can cheer USA, and it's a hell of a contrast with a presidential candidate on the Republican side that talks down about America every day on the stump.
Yeah, do got some issues for him. Now listen to my girl Rachel. She gets really in depth.
Prove on the opening lines of this. I'm just going to get...
First, I'm just going to tell you what he did. Okay. It's been reported that Trump embezzled $10 million from an Egyptian leader for his campaign, and he may have plans to commit voter fraud for this election. He seemed to be unbothered by anything. He seemed to be free and clear to do what he wants and say what he wants because he he may have the election already set to be rigged already. That's why he told people not to care about voting because it does not matter because he planned on doing some illegal crap. And I think people in the White House and the government need to take him serious because he's up to something. Him and his little cronies, Jim King-hoon or Jim King, what the freak his name is. They got something up their sleeve. Listen to Rachel breaking it down.
Lines of this, I'm just going to give it to you verbatim. Ready? Quote, 5 days before Donald Trump became president in January 2017, a manager at a bank branch in Cairo, Egypt, received an unusual letter from an organization linked to the Egyptian intelligence service. The letter asked the bank to, quote, kindly withdraw nearly $10 million from the organization's account. Withdraw it all in cash, as in green bills. Quote, inside the state-run National Bank of Egypt, employees were soon busy placing bundles of $100 bills into 2 large bags. 4 men arrived and carried away the bags, which weighed a combined 200 pounds. The bags contained what was then a sizable share of Egypt's entire reserve of American currency. But when those 4 men came and carried away those hundreds of pounds of cash, bundles of $100 bills, where did the cash go? What could Egypt's intelligence service possibly need with 200 pounds of $100 bills? Well, FBI agents in the United States thought that cash might have gone to Donald Trump. Explosive reporting from Aaron Davis and Carol Leonnig at the Washington Post on Friday revealed a years-long criminal investigation into whether Egypt illegally funneled $10 million in cash to Donald Trump for his 2016 campaign. 2 years into Trump's presidency, federal investigators in the United States had come to know the following things. First, classified U.S. intelligence had indicated that Egypt's president at least wanted to give Trump $10 million to boost his presidential campaign in 2016. Also, in September 2016, just before the election, candidate Trump did have a very chummy meeting with Egypt's president in New York, after which Trump praised him as a, quote, fantastic guy. A few weeks after that meeting, just before the election, look at this time on this, October 28th, just before the 2016 election, Trump miraculously produced $10 million of his own money to dump into his campaign, which at the time was quite strapped for cash. That $10 million infusion, though, wasn't a gift from Trump to his campaign. It was structured as a loan, so Trump would get the money back. Trump just a few days later, won the election, and then just a few days after that, or a few days before his inauguration, there was that unexplained cash withdrawal of American dollars by the Egyptian intelligence service from a Cairo bank, $10 million. The same amount that Egypt's president had reportedly wanted to give Trump, according to U.S. intelligence. The same amount that Trump had miraculously found to loan to his own campaign. Egypt's president then inexplicably became one of Trump's first guests at the White House as president. Trump later released over $1 billion in military aid for Egypt. Trump at one point even called the Egyptian leader, quote, my favorite dictator. And for him, there's a lot of competition for that title. But U.S. investigators didn't ever prove that the money from Egypt, that cash from that Egyptian bank, went to Trump. To prove or disprove that, they would need access to more of Trump's financial records. But they would never get that access. And that is its own scandal. Carol Leonnig and Aaron Davis reporting that Trump's Attorney General Bill Barr stepped in to make sure that FBI agents wouldn't be allowed to subpoena Trump's financial records. He also then removed the U.S. attorney who was overseeing the investigation. And then he removed her replacement as well, until he finally got a U.S. attorney in that jurisdiction who would shut down the investigation entirely. Now, what investigators thought might have gone down here, an illegal $10 million cash payment to a presidential campaign from a foreign dictator. I mean, if that were ever proven, that would be one of the biggest presidential scandals in American history, if not the biggest. That said, it hasn't been proven. And Donald Trump has denied it. The reason it hasn't been proven is because nobody was allowed to look at the evidence that would prove it or disprove it. Thank you, Bill Barr.
Me these.
Thank you, U.S. Justice Department, for never apparently looking into any of the things that Bill Barr did as Attorney General to bring grave shame and discredit upon the U.S. Justice Department. That's a story for another day. I will say, though, Trump is denying the implications of this reporting and this investigation.
He's a compulsive liar.
He could easily disprove the claims here himself by simply allowing his banks to release his financial records to show that he has nothing to hide because he had nothing to do with this. In a hard-fought presidential campaign, you might think that would become a political pressure point for Donald Trump. I mean, if you're going to tell people they need to release their long-form birth certificates, seems like maybe you ought to release your bank records, especially when you're credibly accused of potentially taking a $10 million cash bribe from your favorite dictator.
Yep. Trump is a full-fledged criminal. Full-fledged criminal. But he loves pointing fingers at somebody else. And why we consistently give this man chance after chance to put him in the White House is beyond me.
What, Republic?
All right, let's move right along from politics. And we're going to talk about something some of you probably was waiting on, probably just waiting patiently. It has been said that Jennifer Lopez has filed for divorce. She did not get a lawyer. Rumor is because she can't really afford a lawyer. And so she filed herself online. I did that with my verse. And people are confused because apparently Ben Affleck is unable to settle down. I don't know why she got back with him in the first place. There wasn't a prenup, so who knows how the divorce will go down, especially after Jennifer failed movie project. They're not asking for alimony or a monthly stipend from what I read. I would consider that because his negative attitude was part of the reason why that beautiful artistic video movie failed, because he was acting all nonchalant and was saying that she shouldn't do it. I feel sorry for Jennifer. I hope she will prioritize herself, her children, family, and career. However, based on her past behavior, she will likely be in another relationship that distracts her probably less than 6 months. We'll be hearing she'll be engaged or with somebody else before the year's up. She goes through relationships like bags and purses. But she should have known that Ben wasn't so into the relationship when he refused to partake in her announcing her love to him video, which she has never done to any man ever. She has been obsessed with this man for so many years. I think I said before, I never saw her look at a man the way she looked at Ben Affleck. She looked at him with those yawny eyes, which I have never done to a man ever. The whole, that kind of thing, that proud of you or mesmerized look. I have never done that to anyone ever. But that's how she looked at him. and she was willing to dump A-Rod, even though A-Rod was cheating on her allegedly. But like I said, I liked her actually with A-Rod. I thought they had a nice little family union. I hated reporting about his cheating. I hated he cheated, you know, but they was a good pair. That was a good pair for them. It's just, he couldn't keep his thing in his pants. But she, like I said in one of my last live shows, she could have dealt with that. I mean, so many Hollywood actresses have done that. Cardi B, she done it with Offset. Beyonce is the queen of putting up with the crap. You know, and I'm sure there's other people who have put up with cheating as well. Hell, Hillary Clinton. You know, she dealt with it. You know, and I can go on and on and on. They all dealt with cheating husbands. Me. You know, you can forgive and move on or have your revenge affair. I mean, come on now. She dumped him. You know. She could have just separated and got back together and had a renewed whatever and become stronger than ever and do a tour or something or whatever the hell couples do in Hollywood. I don't freaking know. But Ben was allegedly checked out of their marriage a long time ago, as he always does. He become enamored with it for a moment and then he just check out in mid-relationship. He get enamored with it, check out. Enamored with it, checked out. He cheated on Jennifer Gardner several times. And Gardner's like, I'm not trying to deal with this fool. I'm not trying to be his surrogate mother. Because that's what he wants, some kind of mom. And Jennifer like, I'm not trying to be your mother. I want a partner. You know, someone who I can build an empire with, not be your mother like Jennifer Gardner. That's what he want. Even then, when Jennifer Gardner was trying to be his little surrogate mom, he still was acting like a... Nobody got time for Ben Affleck, man. He needs to be alone and whatever. Anyway, moving right along here. And then we have Alsina here. Alsina, he opened it up by being he said his sexuality is something. He said he taught himself about loving and healing. In the season finale of his real life, never saw it, never cared about it. But he definitely opened up.
And you talked about your love for another man. And I know that when we talk about this, we help others. What has opening your heart done for you?
To be honest with you, bro, it's not even me that's opening my heart. It's that power that's higher than myself. I always say that the greatest gift that God could have ever given me was exposure. To expose me to so many different kinds of people, places, things. So it's like when people want you to define yourself as whether you're gay, straight, bisexual, or whatever, as you were just talking about, love is like much more complex than that and has much more depth. So for me, I'm just the kind of person that's like, because love is a language, I'm fluent in love when it speaks to me.
Yeah. So in other words, he's go both ways. Move right along here. So we're gonna move right along from his free sexuality here. And let's talk about this young lady here, Breonna Taylor. Okay? A federal judge is dismissing felony charges against 2 officers who got the warrant to enter Breonna Taylor's home. I'm reading this verbatim from TMZ. With the judge blaming Breonna's boyfriend and not the warrant for causing his death. So they dismissed the charges for them entering the home with the warrant because they had legal ramifications for that, but not for causing her death. They're not dismissing that. Here's the deal. In 2022, Detective Joshua James and Sergeant Kyle Meany, okay, Meany, is that his real name, really? Wow. Were charged with submitting a false affidavit to search for Taylor's home before the raid. This is what Trump is trying to get back into order for cops can do whatever the hell they want. And then creating a fake cover story to avoid responsibility after Taylor was killed during the raid. They were also charged with felonies for using dangerous weapon to deprive Breonna of her Fourth Amendment right to defend herself against unreasonable search. But U.S. District Charles Simpson here says there is no link between the warranty's entry and Breonna's death, claiming the immediate cause of her death was the fact her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, shot at officers who responded with lethal force. So you have this judge saying that they only shot because Kenneth Walker was acting like one of the bad boys. So her death was unfortunate, but from some kind of cause. It was their fault. Now, so they dropped the weapons charge, okay, which is a huge victory for the officers who could have gotten life sentences if they'd been convicted. Worth noting, neither James or Meany were actually at the raid. James and Meany still aren't out of the woods yet. Meany faces one charge of false statement to federal investigators, while James had been charged with 2 counts of falsification of records, conspiracy to falsify records, and witness tampering. James could get up to 40 years if convicted, and Meany could get up to about 5 or something like that. I don't know. They both been fired from the police department. Taylor's death was back in 2020. As you know, it sparked an outrage. Let me go back here. It sparked an outrage. There were protests and da-da-da-da-da. So there's the little thing here. They can still go to jail, but the charges of them entering and firing, they could get off. And it's been talked they probably could get a lesser sentence than that. They're trying to get them off completely because, again, they don't give 2 shits about another colored life. Let them tell it, which is unfortunate. Now, get to the story a lot of you are probably looking forward to. Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis' wife, Linda Yvette Mathis, filed for divorce from the TV judge on August 22nd, according to the court documents obtained by Today.com. In the documents, Linda Mathis listed their date of separation as July 17th. And she also cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. Linda is now seeking spousal support from Mathis, whose full name is Gregory Ellis Mathis Sr., and is requesting that her requirement of spousal support be waived. He's saying no. This is what he's saying. I not giving her spousal support. She can kiss my ass. You know how he talks.
Alert.
Reporters tried to reach out to Mathis family and his representative to comment, but they didn't hear back from him at all. Now, Mathis and Linda Mathis have been married for 39 years. The two tied the knot on June 1st, 1985, and have since had 4 kids. They're all over the age of 30. In 2022, the family gave fans an inside look into their lives when the reality TV show Mathis Family Matters aired on E! This was 2 years ago. Now, in the show, Mathis talked about his marriage to Linda Mathis and said his family's the greatest achievement he ever had. And he got a star in Hollywood Walk of Fame. He made a big speech. And he said, Linda allowed me to work 15 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, so that he can support his family. And she didn't get... I know about the 15 hours a day and 5 to 6 days a week. I am currently in it. I'm not in that situation now, surprisingly. I'm having financial problems, but he's working less and still have money. I don't know how that whole thing going, but whatever. But, yeah, so, still, yeah. I know about them 15-hour days. I've been there. I'm kind of there now, intermittently. And he pretty much said, I don't think you guys understand, because I know I listen to a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, they're saying, well, you know, why won't she just stay with him? It's been 39 years, it's been like 3 decades, going on 4 decades. What is the deal? Who cares now? Okay. Now, I believe Judge Mathis was born in 1960, right? 1960? I believe he was born in 1960. Okay. And they got married in 1985. So he was in his 20s. Like 28. That's pretty young. I'm not sure how young she was. Okay. But you gotta understand, you know, he was straight coming from the streets. And Mathis has a history of cheating on his wife. But when it comes to lying and talking his way out of being accused of this, remember, he's a lawyer and he's from the streets. He can definitely give the facade of someone determined to prove his innocence. He's a lawyer and he's from the streets. Lying is something he's good at. Acting is something all lawyers are good at. Okay? So, and Judge Mathis, no offense, I'm a fan of his show. he has a history of disrespecting women. From Wendy Williams to Kamala. So, think about that as I show you these clips. Which I gotta bring here because, again,
some of these soft guys you didn't have on here that you think.
Again, my crap was acting stupid. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this over here. Yeah, let's bring this over here. Let's move that, remove that.
I've never met Bill Cosby, so I'm not defending him. But let's just remember that he has a vibe.
We're gonna move that. And we're going to bring this page here. I was going to talk about history, but I'm going to go ahead and not talk about that. It's going to be my last clip here. And the reason why it's so long, because you guys are not getting a live show for me for a week. I got things to do. So I'm going to be ghosting you guys for about a week. Okay. Let me show you guys the video. It's in my likes here. Now, you remember that little argument, that little radio announcement that Wendy Williams said on her show and pertaining to him cheating and stuff, doing drugs and yada, yada, yada? He was cheating. Now, what I didn't like about people who came at Wendy, they act like she was the one spreading the rumor. She was literally reporting what was already out there. She was the messenger of whoever put that out there. But people and celebrities came at her like she was the one who made it up herself. I'm just the messenger. So we have Judge Mathis. Remember, he has no respect for women. If he's so willingly to talk this way to Kamala, to talk this way to Wendy Williams, just imagine what he do on a bad day to his own wife. Okay? So listen to this.
On here that you think you could talk anything. I'm not some of these soft guys you didn't have on here that you think you could talk anything to. I come from the hardest streets of America. And if you think you're going to send me back to the streets fueling these nonsensical rumors that come out of tabloid. I'm not fueling anything, but I'm just the other tabloid article where I'm supposed to beat up the Reverend. Me and Reverend Jackson jumped on a preacher in L.A. You didn't see that? No. You're just too fixated on drugs and sex to discuss that. Is that your problem? You got a real fixation with drugs and sex, and that's all you talk about from what I understand on your show. And now we know why you had all those 8 abortions. My God, do you have any spirituality in you at all? You need to go to church. What church do you go to? You need God in your life. And I'm not mad. Anyone that knows my show know that I don't take any disrespect or I don't let anybody say anything they want to me without me checking them real strong and real tough. And that's what you getting today, Wendy. You're getting a real good checking. All right, which is what you need. And quite frankly, it's overdue. You get your folks on your show and you just think you can talk and say anything you want to. Well, that's what I do on my show. And my show has higher ratings than yours. So I'm trumping very interesting. I'm trumping you today. No, you're not trumping me, Judge. You're going to have to listen. You're actually not trumping anything. What me and my audience talk about, we talk about on a regular basis, and it's actually
not even letting her talk.
To me, all of the protesting you're doing, it's almost like that saying thou dost protest too much. Being checked. Understand me clearly. This is called when you think that you can just treat people unfairly and say what you want. I am not saying what I want to you. I simply asked you about this woman, and you immediately jumped to the highest of protestivity. I tell you what I immediately did. Something WBLS New York. I immediately told you that it was untrue, and I told you that it was tabloid trash, which all public figures have to endure. Right. And then you continue to want to talk about it for 10 more minutes, and I informed you that you were fueling rumors by continuing to talk about it, thereby damaging my reputation. And I'm not going to let you do that. When you try to do that, you're going to get checked every time you do it. Are you clear on that? Or do I have to continue checking you over and over? Because I will. As long as I'm here and as long as you get out of order, I will check you.
He will check you.
So you don't know this woman. There you go again. Are you still getting high? Because I just saw you leave the bathroom looking like you were getting high. In fact, you got white powder around your nose right now. Yes, you do. Ask your colleagues.
Okay, can we bring
look at her nose? Doesn't it look like she got white powder around her nose?
The VH1
You
camera.
got powder around your nose. Let's take a look. It looks like it to me. It looks like you got white powder to me around your nose.
I don't know what they...
You still a dope fiend? I need to check you into rehab and pray for you.
Wow.
You need help.
She's a very strong woman.
Turn to Christ.
Okay. All right.
She's a very strong woman. He went in on her, and people were like, she reap what she sow. She was only the freaking messenger. Kevin probably didn't say anything. He wasn't batting for Wendy. He stopped batting for Wendy years ago. He sat back and allowed all that negative talk from all these men disrespecting his wife because he was too busy bucking around on her anyway. Because she was the breadwinner. A lot of men can't handle that stuff. So they started cheating and proving their manhood, so to speak. So, or sabotaging and making sure she never make a dime over him ever again. You know, you have men who does that crap too. I mean, look at Wendy now. She was just saying, why are you yelling at me? Paraphrasing, I'm just asking you. And he went in on her like she's the one who made it up. He could have got on there like, Wendy, I don't know where this story came from. I'm faithful to my wife. It's just nonsense tabloids. He went on and she's sniffing. I sniff all the time and I never done cocaine or any drugs except for weed long, like decades ago. Okay? Never sniffed any goddamn thing. And I'm always doing it. Y'all see me doing it all the time. It be cold. Shit. Hell. And I have big nostrils. So, you know, just saying. Big nostrils. So that little sniffing thing is not a really good argument. And him going in on her lets me know that it probably was true. Because the streets talking, I love Judge Mathis. It probably was true. Okay? He probably more than likely allegedly cheated on his wife for years. Any man who's getting on the defense side like that and jumping down a female woman's throat like it's nobody business, no respect at all. I can imagine, like I said, what he do to his wife on a bad day. He has no respect for women. I'm not even done yet. He went further with the disrespect. Remember, Judge Mathis has a history of disrespecting women. Okay? And the streets does talk, like I said. He was not faithful all the time, right? He likes to do that and this and this and this and his little legal jargon and he's throwing his judge and status in people's faces so you can be intimidated. He had no right to go after Wendy like that. She was only the messenger. 50 Cent had no right. None of them brothers. And Kevin didn't come to bat for her at all. He's a disgrace of a husband to allow men to disrespect your wife. But, you know, men are, whatever. Judge Mathis, again, have no respect for women. Because he still is the same way. Now he's just older. And his disrespect is worse. Because this is what he said about Kamala. Remember, he has no respect for any woman of power. Any woman of power is full of shit. And they are lazy. Watch what he said about Kamala.
Do here.
Watch what he said about Kamala.
You didn't even consult with us. You did this on a surprise basis. That's $15 million gone. What happened? It's the kind of thing she would do, see. So it's like that was not a good professional performance. And then she was everybody's favorite Hindu Indian prosecutor and attorney general and senator. Now she becomes black. But, you know, I met her daddy, a fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu. He doesn't have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica and had them to work on plantation.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Mama is on the birth certificate listed as a Caucasian.
She is.
Daddy says he's a Caucasian Hindu.
No, it's Jamaican.
Has no black ancestors. How did she get to be black? Now, a little side story. When I had my show, let's say this has been 26 years ago, I had...
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Judge Joe Brown.
Beautiful women.
I am so sorry. This is Judge Joe Brown. I am so sorry. Anyway, yeah, I forgot to put up Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis, yes, he has no support. I forgot Judge O'Brien. I'm so sorry about that. I just realized this is Judge O'Brien. I am so sorry. It's been a long day for me, seriously. Judge Mathis, and I'm not going to bring up the video right now because I'm about to end this live show. It's been going on long enough. Judge Mathis came out and he said he does not support Kamala. That's what he said. Let me see if I can find the footage to check my resources. This is alleged because I don't want people coming at me. See, not supporting. You know, you guys supposed to have my back. Y'all shouldn't be like, Keisha, this is Mathis. This is, Joe Brown. What are you talking about? Y'all just sit in the comment section and not say shit. Gosh, don't have no sister back. Just allow me to stand up here, or sit up here rather, and make a complete fool out of myself. Why would you do that? Just say that's Judge Joe Brown. What the fuck? Gosh, open your mouth. Seriously. Goodness. But anyway, I'll put up the post of Judge Mathis going against Kamala later. But yeah, he does not support Kamala at all. He has no respect for her at all, as he does most women. Judge Joe Brown, he has a kind of a history of, he's in between with that. You know, his sources are not always true. He got old now, but he's not as worth as Mathis, when it comes to being that way. No, I told you I put these two clips, the Breonna Taylor and the Mathis, I put that in literally at the last minute. Seriously, like before I went live, because I was going to talk about something else. I had to go in and retype the last part of my script, and there's still more on my script, but I'm not going to start talking about it because the DNC took over the entire show, which I wanted to do because I'm not talking about this and political jargon until the election. I'm done. I'm taking a week off of live shows because I'm not getting paid for it anyway. I need to do some things. I need to make money, actual money, because I'm not getting paid from these platforms. But no, I seriously thought that was Mathis. Then I realized, what the fuck? This is not Mathis. This is Judge O'Brien.
Attention.
But I'm going to talk about that point a little bit, though. Let me mute this right quick. Mathis, again, has no respect for women. And the streets does talk. He has cheated on his wife. A lot of you are wondering, like, why did he... Matter of fact, we can get rid of this, actually. Why did he go off on Wendy? Again, because he probably was guilty. It's not the first time rumors came up him cheating on Linda and Mrs. Mathis. Okay. Why would a woman leave a man after 39 years? Because she probably wanted to leave him a long time ago. Their marriage more than likely have been over a long time ago. Those, I keep telling you, those reality shows and them talking honor about their wives and yada yada, it's bullshit. How many times we gotta tell you that it's bullshit? Stop believing the quick SERPs on social media. Stop believing those speeches from pastors or political figures saying their marriage is intact. Stop believing the 5 or 6 second kisses on stage to make it look like they're so beautiful. Stop believing edited material on reality shows. It's fake. And I'm speaking from personal experience. It's easy to fake. It's easy to fake. Okay? She was probably done with him a long time ago. Seriously. I don't blame her. No one, you want to die miserable settling? She probably settled years ago. Like, I'm getting old now. Not talking about me, I'm thinking her. I'm getting old now, and I'm not going to die with you. No. Why? I'm not happy. I'm not sexually satisfied. She probably saying, I don't really know. I'm not happy. He's not supporting me. I'm tired of being your shadow. Being your wife. I want a life. She probably have these issues, and people need to understand that and stop trying to say she should stay with him. No, I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care if you've been married to this man for 50 years. If this is the time for you to live in your truth and die happy. Do not die with someone who does not support you, who you've been compromising and biting your tongue for decades, who is all about himself, and you just the good, submissive, supportive wife. Your kids are grown and out of the house. They don't need you no more. I'm out. I'm still beautiful. I'm out. I'm not doing this. I want to live the rest of my days by myself, doing what I want to do and being free. I do not want to put up with your ass. And that's probably what she is at in terms of her state of mind. And that is a beautiful and brave thing. I hope she inspires many married couples who are not happy to do that, who have the financial way to do it. Some of us, hence I, don't have that financial background to say deuces. And this brings me to Cardi B, actually. I reached out. I was speaking to a truth seeker about the video that, what's that young man named? Storm Monroe. He did about Cardi B in terms of her attacking her mother or mother-in-law. I'm not sure the story, and I really don't care about the story. You know, I like talking about Cardi B. And as I said to her, that's a bit far-fetched. Cardi B, she put her hands on chicks, you know. Mothers, that's a bit extreme. So I didn't really believe that story at all. I heard she's supposed to be suing him or something. I don't know if that's true. I don't really care. Good luck to them both. But, and then there was some rumor about her doing some kind of witchcraft. And it's not working or whatever the case may be. And as I told this truth seeker, and I wanted to do a duet with Storm Monroe, but I doubt if he reached out to me because a lot of them don't like to for whatever stupid reason that is, and I don't really care. You cannot put witchcraft on an individual if they're already possessed. Y'all can go ahead and share this video to him, by the way. Put the timestamp of me talking about this, like now. Okay, you cannot put witchcraft or a hex on someone of one of three things. They either already demonically possessed or infestation with demons. Okay, if they're infestated with demons or demonically possessed, or jinns, because the original term is jinns. The Christianity called them demons, but it's called jinns. You cannot put a second possession on someone who's already possessed. So if Offset is already infestated or possessed by jinns or demons, that's probably why her hexes and spells did not work. The second reason is because if he knows witchcraft, he probably went to someone or did it himself. He put a protection spell on himself that will keep him from being hexed or spell bonded. Okay. The third reason would be because he's a natural witch, and if they know or feel someone is putting a hex on them, they will put a binding spell and probably something bigger out on them. Like I know someone put a hex on me, so I'm going to take care of that. All I'm saying, those are one of three things. Either already possessed, protection spell, or he's a natural witch. Offset is not a natural witch. I can tell you that off the gate. He don't strike.
Excuse me.
Sorry about that. Those are my alerts. He don't strike me as someone with a lot of intelligence to even put a protection spell on himself. No offense. He's still acting like a young boy running around here full of cum. So I don't think he thinks like that. Which brings me to the first, that he's probably possessed. Infested. He probably got some like sex demon or jinn on him. And that's why, you know, he's probably all spell binded and stuff. Or he's so looking for the booty, so to speak, because he's possessed or infestated with jinns who are making him always thinking of the booty. So if she was trying to put spells on him, that's probably why it didn't work. You can't put a spell on someone who's already possessed. That's what I'm saying. She is a very beautiful young lady. Cardi B is very beautiful, very talented. Her influence over people and celebrity is astronomical. She could do so much more with her life. Another reason I like talking about Cardi B, because I see the potential in the empire and the power in her future. I see her doing movies. I see her coming out with clothes and jewelry and fake nails and stuff and building an empire. But I see her settling, you know. It irritates me to talk about her, because I'm like, what are you doing? Stop this. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your marriage. Trust me, I can't. But sometimes you have to let this dream of perfect family, whatever, go and do it alone. I know you're pregnant. Congratulations, by the way. You can do better. You can do bad all by yourself. Use this obstacle as a testimony and a great story to influence many who are either going down the path you're going or going to go down the path that you're on, okay? use this. I don't mean to tell you to leave him or everything, because that's the father of your kids or whatever. But you can do bad about it. He embarrassed you. He got you beating up girls for him. I didn't see him one time go to court for you on TV. I may have missed the clip footage, but all I saw you going to court. I didn't see him holding your hand. I didn't see him sitting at that table or behind you saying, baby, I got your back. I didn't see him making a public announcement. I didn't see him supporting you at all for going to court for something because of him. You should never fight no woman over no man. Ever. If he should be telling these girls, look, I'm married, back the hell up, move the hell around. You shouldn't be fighting them for it. No, that's embarrassing. What are you doing? Never fight the woman. Fight him. And I would have left his ass after that and never went back. Not have another kid. And know your worth, Cardi B. Good luck to you, for real. But know your worth. Seriously. That's all I have to say. And I'm out. Talk to you guys later. Share this with Storm Moreau. He already got the footage. He can go ahead and clip this all he want. I don't really care. Do what he got to do. He probably won't. But I'm just saying. I'm still a fan of you, boy.